All right, guys, it's Anthony, your Subaru Service. Ryan's truck. This is 08 64 450. Got 22 5s on it. It's a big freaking truck. We done extreme cleaning at the shop today. I had to put a core engine together because Halen's 6.4. He didn't have time to wait, so we bought a Ford Reman. We rebuilt Halen's engine, put it in Charlie's truck, then we rebuilt Charlie's engine, and that's what's going in this truck. Well, this truck was bad enough that I deemed we're going to go ahead and go with it and let it go. But I just made another video on the other one, but it wouldn't focus good enough. This one is I can't pause this, but we should be able to focus on the injectors here in a second. But okay, came in as busted rockers, broke rockers, and bent push rods. Okay, so bent push rods, broken rockers on number 7 cylinder. I mean, it sucks, but hindsight, you know, maybe we could have saved it if I would have just replaced injectors. At least the passenger side, replaced all of them. No, leave that open. Leave that open, I want to show it. Okay, whatever, go ahead. In hindsight, you know, maybe. But, hang on. So, we was, you know, what I said was, we need to pull the heads off. We need to see what is going on. Well, if we would have pulled the heads off, we would have saw all the pistons, and it would have been, you know, it would have been where we're at now, any freaking ways. Well, unless we would have just overlooked it. But I'll get to that in a second. We told Ryan we could either go ahead and pull it apart, see what broke the rockers. You know, I mean, this was during cab on, and we were just running diag. So, busted rockers. Son of a bitch. Okay, so we put used rockers in it. We told him, we said we could either break it down now, tear into it, and find out what happened, which we probably would have seen the injectors, or we could just throw some rockers on it, take it for a test drive, see what happens. Well, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. Or, well, it didn't lose us anything, because, I mean, I'll get to that in a minute, but so it made it, I don't know, not very long, and started screeching. When it was driving, I mean, I was running it, you know, I was driving it. I was like, just driving it. So we've already taken the other rods out, but look at these. You guys see that? But tell them to turn that down. Do this one. Okay, so look at that one. They tried to chew away at that because when everything bent, look at the busted pin boss. So, you know, but I imagine it's not far-fetched that when the rod was twisted, when it was right in the middle of twisting, it bound up like a mother. I mean, it all wedged in together. I bet you that's when that broke. I mean, obviously. But we got a bunch of bent rods. Now, throwing too much fuel in, fuel going everywhere. This one doesn't even move. So then after breaking it down more, let's see if I can focus on this. Look at that injector tip. Can you imagine how much fuel that was dumping? Look how big them freaking holes are. I mean, the tip was about to come off. The tip was about to come off. So, here's another one. Just looks like crap. Look at it, it's been hot. Look how big that hole is right there. I mean, it was just dumping fuel. That was cylinder 3 and 5. Here's a good one. This is what they're supposed, I think, let me focus on it. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. See how small them holes are? You guys seeing that? Right there, there's a little hole right there. Right there. That's what it's supposed to look like. Let's hold it up next to another one. See it? Yeah, so that makes me think of, first thing is fuel. Okay. So we're pumping all the fuel out of the tank now. And needless to say, we are putting a full set of injectors in it right now. Look at what the fuel looks like. Let's see if I can get the focus. I mean, it's in a white jug. You know, if there was green tint, we'd see it. It looks like there is diesel in it, right? There's a little bit of a green on it, but you can smell it. I don't know. I mean, it smells like just nasty freaking diesel. We already took some outside and tried to light it to see if it was more unleaded than diesel, and it's not. But it just looks like, I mean, nasty freaking crap. But, so we're gonna pump the tank out. Basically, we're going all in. It's total rebuild. I mean, and that's what sucks. But I mean, what do you guys think? You know, the injector tip, over fueling, throwing massive fuel in. I mean, who knows if, I don't know. I mean, we can speculate all day long as to what caused it. But I know it's hot. It's been hot. Nozzles were about to they were about to melt off the tips of the injectors. They were, you know, so we were throwing a whole bunch of fuel. I mean, very well could have been water, because there was a little bit of rust on the banjo bolts. We've already taken them up and cleaned. We got the banjo bolts here. There was some rust on the banjo bolts. Right there. Okay, this is the fuel filter. I can't do this one hand. Hang on, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me here. It's not excessive, but it's definitely there. We've already cleaned the filter housing. Granted, the damn thing stuck to it. Right there. It's not focusing. Whatever. There you go. See the rust? In between there, that's where the crush washer seals at. Nothing gets out of there. So, you know, we have had water in the fuel. So, it's very likely a little bit of water starts running through those injectors. Compound that with a hot tune. The little bit of water will act as abrasive and could possibly melt, could make the holes bigger. And then compound that with a hot tune with the big tires on here, because it's, I mean, those are 22.5s. That's semi tires. You know, you compound all that with a little bit of water, very likely that it just started to erode the nozzle tips out, make the holes bigger, and then by the velocity of the fuel, because we're turned up so much, you know, it just started, I mean, you know, and then who knows, I mean, why all these rods bent. I mean, I can just imagine the injectors were just throwing so much fuel in it. And then once it started to bend, you know, one gets mixed up, because these were on, damn, I don't think we labeled them. These were opposing each other is what they were. So I imagine it probably, we had the side clearance went away, the rod side clearance went away, and it vented. I don't know. I mean, it's all speculation. The internet ninjas will be all over this and say, oh no, this happened, that happened, whatever. You know, whatever, kiss my ass, I don't care. But it's fact of the matter is, we had injectors that were looking like they were throwing too much fuel. We got a questionable fuel quality here. A bunch of bent rods. Started off with broken rockers and bent push rods. You know, I would think that if we would have taken it apart, we probably would have seen the injectors, because it wasn't even on number 5. Or number 3 and number 5 are the two melted injectors, number 3 and number 5. It wasn't even, but number 7 was the one where initially it came in with broken rockers. So 3 and 5 were overfueling and they were eroding away on the piston, but number 7 was the initial contact of the truck. That's what I first saw, was broken rockers on number 7. So, you know, who knows, at low pressure, I mean, was it throwing so much fuel out of the injector that as the intake valve was opening, it was actually letting fuel go back up into the intake? I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it was overfueling and getting into the crankcase. You know, I mean, I don't know. That's just a horrible freaking deal. I mean, I've been kind of racking my brain because I, you know, would like to find the failure. There's just so much crap wrong with this. It would have been really cool to have taken it apart before these rods bent, because these rods bent while I was driving it. That freaking sucks. I was like, oh crap. But that's, who knows? I mean, hindsight says, you know, hell, I should have just yanked all the injectors out of it right when it first showed up, and it might have survived. But once again, I mean, you know, if I could look into the future, I'd have every job perfect and everything would be good, but it's not always easy to do. Let's see, we're still pumping fuel. We're gonna go ahead and pump all the fuel out, drop the tank, make sure that put some vents on it, put new vents, make sure it's all sealed up, make sure no water. You can go ahead and kill it. Go to the next one. Freaking sucks. We're gonna have to take a sample of it. I guess we could go more. I don't know. We're getting ready to paint the frame. I got the top painted. We might be putting this outside because I'm waiting on pistons to show up. I got them being ceramic coated right now, and Lord only knows how long that'll take to actually get done. Because, damn, look at the casting marks on here. Almost looks like the transmission's cracked. We got other issues with this too. I guess when you tow for a long time, they've had to stop this truck multiple times because it'd go into limp mode because of transmission temperature. It would actually overheat the transmission. Now I wonder if that's, you know, pushing these big ass tires are out. I don't know. I mean, I imagine it does not get good mileage at all. It was already deleted. Cylinders didn't look very good. I've already cleaned the block. The other block, his block, went back for a core. It's gone. I went ahead and got rid of it. But I don't know, I thought I'd run all this down. None of the glow plugs were melted, but the injectors were very, very unfavorable. Right there, you can kind of see that. Does not look good. See if I can get the focus. He's focusing on everything else. We can just look at it a little bit. There you go, look at that. That tip was getting ready to break off. I mean, I could probably get it with my fingernail and break that tip off. I bet you I could. But freaking sucks. Maybe from now on, broken rockers will, I mean, I should have, yeah. Broken rockers, yank the freaking injectors. Pull them, let's see. I mean, I was more checking for metal in the oil. I was like, is the lifter galled in the bore? Did something stick? Did a valve stick? Did you know, I mean, just, I don't know. But I mean, hell, live and learn. We, you know, learning more stuff to look at. Gotta look through this chain. I mean, like right now, I've already explained it all to you guys too. I mean, obviously, yeah, get the injectors out. But when I was actually working on it, it was like, well, I actually thought about doing number 7, replacing number 7. I didn't. It wouldn't have done anything anyways. Number 7 looked pristine. It was number 3 and number 5 that were melted. So, you know, I mean, we could go on a witch hunt and just start taking shit apart, which, but then I would have probably saw those injectors and been real freaking leery. Another thing that was, when he pulled hard, he was puking coolant in the 6.4. He was puking, so, you know, it did have head gasket issues. It was already deleted. So, I don't know. You know, maybe we should have just pulled it in, yanked the freaking heads off of it right off the bat. Saw those injectors, replaced those. Probably would have got a full set and then pumped the tank out and whatever. But, alright, I'm rambling on. It's kind of a... It just sucks when I see this much carnage going on and this much stuff wrong, and then figuring the chain of events, because those rods had to have been bent because there was liquid inside the cylinder and it's trying to push against it. And it could have happened on, obviously it had to be on 2 cylinders, but these were opposing each other. each one was opposing each other. They were, I think it was 1 and 2 and 7 and 8 were not bent, I think, and then the middle ones were bent. So, you know, who knows? Something had to be in there, but all right, guys, that's it. I don't know. We're kind of just BSing around here. Shop's all clean, kids are all working, so we're getting ready to go. Thought I'd make a video on Ryan's truck because I didn't make a lot breaking it down because we're going to get Julie's truck in here and do it. I think we're going to set the cab back down, get it painted, set the cab back down, push it outside while we wait for the rotating assembly, wait to get it balanced with the ceramic pistons, and then pull Julie's truck in because I got Julie's engine ready, almost ready, so we can get that truck back up and running. It's been down for about 9 months, so oh well. All right, guys, that's it. Have a good day.